Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to do a video with my 30-gallon planted tank because a couple weeks ago I posted a little update of it and somebody commented that the water was looking a little gringy, and I just wanted to, talk about my opinions on that. He suggested, or she, I'm not sure, they suggested that I get a UV sterilizer for my tank, and I personally have some views that kind of conflict with using a sterilizer. I think that there's a lot of bacteria that grow in a fish tank that are very beneficial to the environment. And, when it comes to algae, you can't find an environment in the wild where there's no algae. You pick up a rock on a riverbed, it has a coating of algae on it. You go in most places, you can't find places with no algae. So let's get into this. I'm gonna show you the tank. I'm gonna talk about some of the things that I have in the tank, how I set everything up, and just, so I'll voice some of my opinions about things when it comes to setting up a planted aquarium. Alright, so first things first, when I set this tank up, I had a very basic idea of what I was going to do. I wanted it to be a planted tank with a substrate that would help feed the plants, and I wanted to do nothing but hardscape. So I started with setting up the substrate with a layer of dirt underneath. And I used the hardscape, these rocks, to mound up the dirt in each corner. So back here I have a mound, and then on this side I have a mound, and in the center I have this kind of path looking that leads to the back of the tank where I have a tiger lotus sitting in there. And that thing, it can come back and it will take over the entire fish tank. And then in the winter it seems to go into a dormant phase. But like I said, I had dirt underneath my substrate, and that's some Miracle-Gro organic choice. And I know a lot of you guys are probably saying, hey, that doesn't sound right, putting dirt under your substrate, but I haven't disturbed the substrate at all since I've had the tank set up, and I haven't had any problems at all. I haven't had any fish die in this tank. It's been great. As you can see, I have a lot of guppies in here. They're all they were all born here. The father is actually in this tank. See if I can find him. Yeah, he's right at the top right now. There's the father. He's a pretty interesting looking guppy. I think it might be, he's a little funny looking sometimes, but yeah, anyways. So I've got, like I said before, the substrate has the dirt underneath, and then I put the hardscape in to, mound up the dirt in each side, and then I planted grass around the rocks, and it's grown up this hill completely. I think the other side it won't grow because it's just too shaded on that end, but it kind of gives the tank a bit of a different weight on each side. And then I have a pair of male dwarf gouramis. I really like gouramis. They're pretty interesting fish. They build bubble nests, so they take plant matter from around the tank, and they put it up at the top and blow bubbles, and it all sticks together. It's really interesting. I'm actually going to be getting some females very soon, so I'm hoping to even try and produce some of my own baby dwarf gouramis here. But like I said about algae at the beginning, as you can see, my rocks have a coating of algae. You can tell because the color kind of changes at the base of the rocks, and in any of the shadows it looks a little different. And I personally believe that having algae in your fish tank really gives a kind of natural look to your setup. And I mean, a lot of people fight as hard as they could possibly fight to get rid of algae in their fish tank, but if you look at any good ecosystem in the wild, there's algae on things, and algae actually does a job of producing some oxygen. It does photosynthesize, so it can clean your water as well. So I personally believe that it's not a big deal to have a little bit of algal growth on your fish tank. it's certainly not going to hurt your fish. It might look a little bit unsightly sometimes when it covers the glass, but you know, you just give your glass a quick scrub and it looks like this. I'm really happy with this. I don't see why I would need to ever do anything to take any beneficial bacteria out of the water column. I think it creates some microorganisms that can survive and thrive in the tank and create an even better ecosystem. There's little things living in the substrate that can help break down the fish poop, you know, making everything a little bit more clean for the water. And then every so often I just vacuum out any detritus, just kind of builds up in the grass, and then I give it a quick suck out with a hose, and then the tank looks fantastic again. So I just do partial water changes on this thing all the time. It's been set up for over 9 months now, and I haven't had any trouble at all. So, you know, you tell me, is algae good or bad? Have a good one, guys.